Imagine your savings simply disappearing. Not stolen. Not spent. Just reduced. Inflation is silent. It does not knock on your door. It does not announce itself. It simply reduces. Slowly. Relentlessly. At first, prices rise a little. A meal costs more. Fuel costs more. Rent increases. You adjust. But inflation is not just higher prices. It is the decline of purchasing power. The same money buys less. For most of history, inflation followed scarcity. Wars destroyed production. Harvests failed. Supply shrank. Prices rose. Because goods were limited. But in the modern era, inflation often begins with policy. When more money enters the system, without matching production, value dilutes. Like adding water to wine. The quantity increases. The strength decreases. Governments expand the money supply to stimulate growth. Central banks lower interest rates to encourage borrowing. Borrowing increases spending. Spending increases demand. If supply cannot keep up, prices rise. Moderate inflation is considered healthy. It encourages spending instead of hoarding. It reduces the real burden of debt. It keeps economies moving. But inflation has a darker side. When it accelerates, confidence weakens. Savers are punished. Fixed incomes lose power. Long-term planning becomes uncertain. History offers warnings. Weimar Germany. Zimbabwe. Venezuela. When money loses meaning, society destabilizes. People rush to spend currency before it loses more value. Trust collapses. Barter returns. Foreign currencies replace local ones. Inflation is called a silent tax because it transfers wealth subtly. Those closest to new money. Banks. Governments. Large institutions. Spend it first. Before prices adjust. Those last in line. Workers. Retirees. Small savers. Pay more later. Inflation rewards borrowers. It penalizes savers. If you owe money, inflation reduces the real weight of your debt. If you save money, inflation erodes its value. This shifts incentives. It encourages leverage. It discourages caution. In small doses, inflation oils the economic machine. In excess, it destabilizes it. Energy prices. Supply chains. Global conflict. Policy errors. All can trigger waves of rising prices. In an interconnected world, inflation travels fast. A disruption in one region affects costs everywhere. Modern central banks attempt balance. Raise rates to slow inflation. Lower rates to prevent recession. Too aggressive, and growth stalls. Too passive, and prices spiral. The margin for error is thin. Inflation changes behavior. People demand higher wages. Companies increase prices preemptively. Investors seek hard assets. Real estate. Commodities. Gold. Fear of inflation can create inflation. Expectations matter. If people believe prices will rise, they act accordingly. And action reinforces the belief. Inflation is psychological. It lives in perception as much as in statistics. Measured by indexes. Felt in grocery stores. When inflation remains predictable, systems adapt. When it becomes volatile, confidence fractures. Money functions on trust. Inflation tests that trust. Because stable currency is the foundation of trade. When value fluctuates wildly, planning collapses. Investment slows. Society shifts into survival mode. Inflation is not visible like smoke. It is erosion. Gradual. Persistent. Structural. You may not notice it daily, but over years, it reshapes wealth. Savings shrink. Assets inflate. Inequality widens. The silent tax rarely appears on a receipt, but it is paid. In diminished purchasing power. In uncertainty. In lost stability. Inflation reminds us that money is not fixed. It is managed. And management is never perfect. In controlled form, inflation supports growth. Out of control, it undermines systems. The difference is discipline. Because when money loses stability, confidence follows. And when confidence fades, economies tremble. Inflation is not loud, but its consequences are. Do you already feel the shift? How has inflation changed your decisions? Share your perspective below. And subscribe if you want to understand how to navigate what comes next. Voices of Stillness.